Welcome in,
Right.
everybody. I popped in to say hello there in between screens. I didn't time it right. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, share it out, Lunar. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming tonight. We are going out on Facebook on Mandrina page and also on the Clans of the Mystical Realms on Facebook. We're also going out in my Drew's Paranormal Vlog and we're going out in Christina's channel. So remember, guys, as on my channel to subscribe to Christina. The link is at the top of the page. Most of you will have her already, but for the ones that's not got her, definitely check her out, guys, okay? So tonight, as you know, the shows on a Saturday is going to be one-to-one with Drew. And it's really just getting to know people that's in the community a little bit better. Because most of the time, as you know, Christina, Luna and I, Sherry and I, Mystical and I, we've all shared many panels together, but it's really just trying to me to get to know people individually and then get to know me a little bit too. So I feel as if that's kind of important for the things that's going on in the background right now, guys. It will be reveal itself eventually. So tonight we have got our beautiful sister Christina. Now, Christina, where do I start with you? Really, I met you when way back, much at the time of Lunar, I do believe, when we met around about Lunar time. You were in the community with Carol, Luna, Cassie, Boomer. I think I met you way back then in a couple
Yeah.
of streams, and then if you want to take it maybe for there about how you met me and what actually happened away back then that kind of threw you into our community, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I started way back when, and I really, um, when I started, was watching, the big YouTubers. But I started because I was trying to help my son. So I, I just like by watching different of these big YouTubers, they were introducing you to littler YouTubers and YouTubers that were starting out. And so like I met Boomer through Lou Rock, and then I
Right.
met Danny through Boomer, and then through Danny I kind of met everybody else. They were in his chats, and then
Yeah.
I,
That's
befriended
right,
them.
because you did a video with James the Farm, didn't you? I actually just seen that
Yeah.
on your channel the other day when I was doing a quick flick through. So that was cool getting to meet him. So how did you manage to get to meet James the Farm? Jumping
Well,
in there
I've
quick.
been a member of his channel since way back when. And when he said he was coming to New York, I messaged him right away. I'm like, how can, and he's like, well, we're having sponsors for our trips. So basically, I sponsored part of his trip so that we
Right.
could do an investigation. Like I could have
Right.
just met him at the fan meetup because he
Yeah,
didn't
sure.
sponsor anything, but I was like, no, I want to
What
do an
James
investigation.
the
I want to meet
Farm?
you one on one, like to see how you really are, because I guess because people are not like always like they are on YouTube. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. I sponsored some of his trips so that we can go on an investigation.
It's actually interesting because way back, as many you know, I actually followed a lot of the YouTubers away back then, and James the Farm was one of them. Oh my gosh, the G Team, Marie's Life Vlogs, and it was through actually Marie's Life Vlogs that I actually got the idea for my channel. So away back then, I watched all of them, and at that point, James the Farm had been outed. Him and oh my gosh had been outed for some stuff in their past that ended up not being true. So away back then, I think through a lot of the influence that a lot of the chat was saying, and then I left because I felt as if there was a lot of drama going on with James the Farm's channel way back then. So I kind of moved away from it for a long time. But it was interesting to see you with them because I thought, I wonder if that was when I must have had just left watching them, and then you did the video, and I thought, bummer, I could have met Christina way back then if I had only just kept watching James the
Yeah, I
Farm's
because I was
channel.
always in his chats and stuff, but I was always in Danny's chats too,
Yeah.
because like I said, I kind of I wasn't going live or anything. I really started to help because I wanted to help my son with his problems, that he had.
You want to tell the
Um
guys a bit about that then? How that started, just for the people that don't know you, Christina? how it actually came about that you were to actually start doing that? Because I know a lot of
Well,
people
on YouTube, I
don't
started
know.
actually doing it on YouTube because of my son. But
Right.
prior to that, my mother passed away. I always had something. I knew it, but back then they would tell you, shut up. They're gonna put you on
Lock you
medication.
up.
You're gonna be in the
Yeah.
hospital. They're gonna take you away. Like my mother would tell me those things. So I kind of stopped. Like I closed it off. I was like, no, I don't want to go to the funny farm, of course, as my
Yeah.
mother used to call it. So and I kind of closed it off. But then my mother passed away. Well, my father passed away right when I had my daughter.
All
Like,
right.
we buried him 2 days before my daughter was born. So
Well,
basically, I couldn't do anything really. Like I just had this baby. My father passed away. Then I had my son, so it was a lot because I was a single mother now of two kids. And then in
right.
2012, when my son was 5 and my daughter was 11, my mother passed away. So um I started watching YouTube and stuff because I decided I wanted to learn how to talk to my mother. But I didn't tell
Right.
any of my family, or nobody knew I was researching all this.
Yeah,
I
sure.
was researching it for my own self. But then
Yeah.
you get busy with work and kids and whatever, right? So now,
Yeah.
fast forward 5 years later, after I've been doing research and stuff, but just for my own kind of thing, the school calls me and tells me that my son has to be admitted to a psychiatric ward because he's seeing um, animals that aren't there. And
Right.
I said, I'll take him to a psychiatrist. I'm not admitting him to any hospital. I'm not giving him any
Yeah.
medicine. There's nothing wrong with him. You've been telling me there's something wrong with this kid since he was in pre-K. Like they told me he was on the spectrum and he's
Right.
has over active imagination and all this crap. So from little
The
they would
usual.
bother him, so but I just think he was always spiritual. But anyway, so
Yeah.
um I took him to hey PBR. I took him to
How's it going,
a
everyone?
hi everyone. I can't see Drew's chat right now, sorry. So I I took him to a psychologist. And I said, does he need a psychiatrist? Does he need something? Can you tell me?
Right.
And he was a specialist, a child psychologist. And he told me, no, there's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah.
He has the normal kid stuff. He's upset his parents aren't together, blah, 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 blah. But, that's normal. Just
Right.
bring him like twice a month for a little bit to appease the school. And that's it, because there's nothing wrong with him. We'll recommend to the school. He could go back to school. He's
How's it
seeing
going,
me.
everybody? We will see hello in a minute.
He doesn't have to see a psychiatrist. So,
Yeah.
but my son was upset by it. So
Right.
he said to me, am I crazy, mom? Because, and I go, no, 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 no. So I got a camera. I got all the stuff. Now I was already doing the research. I got
Yeah.
him a camera. I got a camera. I had my stuff. And I go, come on, we're going to go to the most haunted place in Long Island. And I'm going to show you like it's spirits that you're talking to, animal spirits and spirits. He goes, no,
Yeah.
no, ghosts don't exist. And I go, no, no, they do. Come on. And I brought him. And once he watched back the footage, especially of the little spirit he caught with antlers, and
Yeah.
he caught that on his camera, he was like, oh, no, that's the kind of things I kind of see. But I see them like more real. He would see them more real. He's like, oh, so they're just spirits? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. And never had a problem with him again in school or
Right.
anything like that. So that's how I
That's
started on YouTube.
interesting then, isn't it? Because if you think about it, then he's obviously always had that gift, and the school must have been just trying to snuff it out on like they did with all of us
Yeah.
when we were kids. Because through like your parents, the school telling you these things aren't real and you need to go to the loony bin, essentially, that's what snuffs it out in you, isn't it? So I'm glad that he had a mum like you a way back then to say, listen, you're not going crazy, son. Let's go see. And then you were more surprised than him in what he's caught, though, weren't you?
Yes. When I saw, because when we went there, not only did he catch, we caught a whole bunch of visuals. I was hearing, like, I've heard one or two disembodied voices before, but I couldn't like be sure that's what it was, until you're standing in the middle of a nature preserve with no one else there, and there's a woman clearly talking to you, and you're like, the heck is going on, you know? So basically, I was like, I couldn't believe the footage. And then I couldn't believe the fact that, like, they're just all there. They're walking around. Like, I could see, okay, maybe there's one, you know? But obviously, this was multiple people talking, males, females, spirits. They were throwing things at you. I mean, like, I was like, I
Crazy.
heard drumming. We heard um, native sounds like Indians. So to me, this was like opened a whole door for me. Like I went from wanting to just
Well, you
talk to
better
my
get the
mother
door.
to wanting to talk to every spirit on the earth, you know, because I couldn't believe they were just all here and I wanted to find out more about it. So that's how I really got into it.
Sorry, there's somebody at the door. The dog's barking. 2 seconds. She goes crazy. I think it's actually Liam. I've locked him out. Yeah, so we'll just say hello to everybody quickly then while the dog is barking at us, guys. Then we'll
Yeah.
continue with Christina's journey. Welcome in, everybody. Who have we all got? We've got Mystical Love and Light, my amazing sister. We have Kim. We have Kerry as well. Phoenix. We have Lunar as well. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We have Scott. Welcome in, Scott. Welcome in, PPR. Welcome in, guys. Thank you for coming in tonight again. I think you've got people on your channel as well, Lunar and things. I think that's what
Yeah.
that little link thing means.
Kelly, Scott,
Yes.
and Dustin.
Oh,
Thank
Kathy,
you for
welcome
coming
in,
in.
Kathy.
And
Thank you,
Kathy.
everybody. Just remember, smash the like on both channels, guys, please. That'd be amazing. Thank you. Yeah, so these shows are just a bit to get into know. And remember, if any of you want to come up and share your journey with me, have a chit chat 1-to-1 with me, you are welcome to do so as well, guys. You don't need to be one of the witchy sisters. It's just that I'm starting off with the people that I know first. So remember and get the names in. They're all shouting Liam now. So going a bit a deep dive into that then. So your son came to terms with that pretty quick then, him being able to see them.
Yeah, as soon as he watched back that and I showed him the different things that we caught, he was like,
Right.
"Oh, it's just ghosts." Like normal people would be afraid. He was
Yeah,
so happy that he wasn't crazy that he
of
was just like, "Oh,
course. Yeah. And
that's
had you
it.
not seen,
It's fine," you know? Like
had you ever noticed anything? Had he had any nightmares, or was there any other signs except for the school saying about it? No,
no,
nothing.
like he would occasionally talk to himself in his room, but I do that too, so I didn't think anything of it, you know? Like
So what about his sister then? Did his sister have anything? Did you ever notice anything with her
she
growing up?
swore she when she was 2, I knew she had it, but
Right.
I
Welcome in,
never
Uncle Danny.
hey, Danny. I never, I never push anything on them, you know. And back then, especially when she was 2, you know, and I was 22, or just turning 23, it was still not, you know, kosher. So I didn't, you know, I didn't say anything. She said to me she was 2, and I decided to take out the family album and show her my father because my father had passed away, like I said, 2 days before she was born. Well,
Yeah,
we buried him 2 days before he she was born.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, he died Sunday and she was born he died Sunday, she was born Friday right after. So she never met him. So when she was 2, and she was very smart, my daughter was smart. She was talking full sentences by 1, you know, I
Interesting.
think by 1.5, she was already going to the bathroom. Like she was walking
Wow.
by 9 months. She was really crazy. So she was an old soul if I ever saw one, you know,
Yes. She's
like
probably had your
really.
dad behind her,
Um,
guiding.
yeah. So I take out the book and I show her, I go, "This is my father." And she goes, "Oh, I know him." And I'm like,
Wow.
"No, he passed away before you were born." She's like, "No, he used to sing over my crib when I was a
Wow.
baby."
See? Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I knew she had something. I never
Yeah.
brought it up. When I started doing this with my son, she thought we were both nuts. And I showed her the video and she still didn't believe it. And she said
Yeah.
to me, "No, I want to come with you." And
Yeah,
so
I've
if you
seen her on
guys
your
go
channel.
to my channel
Yeah,
and
you'll see
watch
her out there.
Ladies of Smithtown, it's the only one my daughter came with me.
Right.
And after that, and after she saw the video back, she was like, okay, fine, you're not crazy, but I don't want to have anything to do with this. So I
Wow.
said, fine. And then I was talking to her on the phone, like we would be on a messenger. And she says, hi, Jonathan. And I'm like, no, Jonathan's not here. And she's like, no, I just saw him. He's wearing this, that, you know. And I was like, no, Jonathan's not here. I swear to God. And she's like,
Yeah.
don't
Wow.
lie. And I'm like, no, he's not here. Then all of a sudden she goes, yeah, see, he just walked behind you. And I'm like, what the
He's
hell is
not
she seeing? She
here.
could see them clear, like they're standing there, like she thought it was a person.
Yeah,
So I
see,
was like,
she's
oh,
open
damn,
to it
you
then.
really have it, too,
Yeah,
you know?
she's in denial, guys, isn't she? She's in denial. We all know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting then. So I want to tell the guys that don't know you a bit about what happened that you managed to get in tow with Uncle Danny. I think I was actually in that live chat that night that you needed the help. And we were all trying to get a hold of Uncle Danny for it. And for the ones that don't know Uncle Danny, guys, yes, Chasing Bones Inspectors, he's the spiritual leader that we all like to say. We all look up to Uncle Danny because he's been in the field for so long. He's been in the field, I think it's 51 years now. He's been this is for the podcast side, guys. He's been in amazing things, and I will put his links in the description as well. Check him out. He's one of the ones that we all look up to kind of guide us when we were first starting about how it all works on the different realms, how to do it safely, different things like that he's guided us in. So way back in the journey, for the people that don't know, but 3 4 years ago we all used to go into chats, and a lot of us would turn spirit boxes and things on and just kind of see what was around us all. And that's how I met Christina, was through some of the chats that we went into and things. So you want to tell them a bit about what happened, Christina, sis?
Oh, yeah, I was really just really getting into the paranormal. And I had a spirit. I heard the disembodied voice. It was caught on my camera too. I wasn't doing paranormal at the time. At that time, I was doing paranormal, but I wasn't doing a paranormal video.
Right.
I was literally doing a historical video for the historical places in my town. So I was
Yeah.
just doing a historical video talking about this old road and all this. And I get to the corner of the oldest road in Bayshore, and I hear next. And I was like, I did a 360 with my camera. I showed you guys everything. And I'm like, I don't know. Hello? Like, and I'm like, I don't know, so didn't think anything of it. I was like, maybe it came from somebody hiding in a car, kid messing with me, somebody in the window. I don't know who was talking
Yeah.
to someone
Welcome in,
else,
guys. Welcome in,
So,
Christine. Nice to see
hi.
you.
So for a month after I heard that disembodied voice, everywhere that I went, every chat, everywhere that played the spirit box, the spirits would say to me, "You're haunted."
Wow.
You're haunted. And I didn't get it. I went to
Yeah.
this one place where they really tried to warn me. I was playing the spirit box. It was a 9/11 memorial for the people in my town that I lived in at the time. And
Yeah.
the I went there to the memorial to talk to them and whatever. And they were telling me, "You're haunted. He wants to get you. He's going to grab
Wow.
you." Like all this stuff. They were warning me.
Really warning you.
Not even a week after that, I was sitting in my house and I was on a live stream. I was just typing I was joined in
Yeah,
a
you were in the
chat.
chat. Yeah, that's
I
right.
was in the chat of Benny Locos, and I'll never
Right.
forget. Benny Loco and her husband were, just hanging out and talking. And I was in there, and basically I felt something dripping down my leg, and I just wiped it, and it was blood. And I'm like, what happened? And as I
Yeah.
looked down on my leg, it was already healing. And I had and then I saw it happen because I looked, and like you could see somebody scratch you, the blood.
You
I wiped the blood, and the thing is scabbed already. Like I
right.
was like,
Mhm.
I was having a
Yeah.
heart attack. So I typed something
Thank
in
you,
the
Lunar
chat.
Sis.
Thank you. So I typed something in the chat like, "Is this normal?" And I said the
Yeah.
situation, and of Benny's husband, who doesn't really believe in this, was like, go to the doctor right away. I'm like, the doctor? Can they help
For
with this? Like, I
spiritual attack.
don't know, And
We've
thank
all got those
God,
problems.
thank God that Tammy Burgess Rock fam, Tammy was in the Bergie's Rock fam was
Yeah.
in the chat, and she says, "No, no, get me on Twitter. I'm gonna. Danny will set up a private stream and give me the link. I'm gonna get Danny to help you.
Yeah.
Danny needs to help you. No, you're being attacked by something." And I said, "Okay." She's like, "Try to put up your barriers." I didn't know.
Didn't know all that at the time.
I was so like out of sorts. I couldn't do anything. Like,
Yeah.
because when this is happening to you, you're not, like
You don't
barriers. What the
even
frick are you
realise that.
talking about?
Yeah, you're
Like,
like,
I
what?
couldn't focus. And so Danny gets on with me. We're on a private StreamYards, and he's like, "Show me where you are." And I turn, and he's like, and he just leans. He's like, "Shut up!" And he yells at the guy. He's like, "No wonder you couldn't think." The guy was yelling, so the spirit was just yelling, so it would disorient me and then attacking me.
Yeah.
And just like a really, it was a person spirit, but just a really nasty, like
Nasty
hair
man.
so long spirit,
Yeah.
It just felt like going around attacking people, like vengeful spirit, kind of
The one
thing.
person to another, probably. Yeah. It's your turn right now.
It was my turn, and that's why
Yeah.
it he said next, like he picked me to be the next one he was going to attack, because he must do
Yeah.
this to people
Must
like
have people.
randomly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Danny got Mabella to come and over,
Take
and
it.
I remember, and like Mabella stayed a few days to get rid of him. Like I was like floored. I never thought like something like this just
That's the
happens.
dangers. Yeah. I
But
think
it
that's a way
was the
back
only
then.
time,
Yeah.
that ever happened. Thank God.
Yeah.
Knocking on wood. But yeah.
We'll do it
So
too.
that's how
In
Danny
case
and I really got
things go.
closer, because after that, like, I was so grateful. I wouldn't miss a live stream that he did. I would go to all his videos. Like, I did a video thanking him and the spirits from the 9/11 um from the 9/11 memorial. I went back and thanked them. Like, yeah.
This dog, that's because I chapped, guys. Do apologise. Yeah, so that's like crazy because I think when we just kind of start out in things, we don't realise just how important it is to make sure you listen to your guides and protect yourself and barrier up, even on live streams and things. I feel as if sometimes you need to put your barriers up in case there's spirits there waiting to jump you. Because honestly, you just don't know who's around and you don't know if everything you're
Yeah.
doing is working properly and things like that. So it's interesting to hear the stories of people actually getting attacked. I got attacked as well when I first started, and I believe it was my partner's mother's boyfriend, if you like, who had died at that moment and came looking for her. And she just so happened to be with us and the kids down at Burkwood, and I'll show you in the next video. I think she had just so happened to be there with us at the time, and in order to annoy her as a spirit, she was attacking me, type of thing. And I think that in the Saturday night when I thought, okay, I'll be okay, just turning the spirit box on without lighting my altar or anything up and asking for my guides to come in, and I got attacked again. So I think learning those little lessons away back early helps you on your journey. Do you feel as if that helped you immensely? Getting the
Oh,
attachment,
yeah.
if you
Yeah, because then I started, I had like a crystal so I wouldn't get an attachment.
like.
But that was really all I would carry with me.
Right.
Um, and he didn't attach to me, so the crystal worked that way. But like, I didn't have all the other stuff, like in the protection. I didn't have black salt, I didn't have holy water, I had none of this stuff. I don't even think I had sage, really. Like, I was
Right.
just like, no, the crystals will help. But no, crystals don't help everything. You need a grouping of different things. So until
Yeah.
so right after that, I was like, oh no, hell no, I got to read more, about how this is not going to happen again.
Well, you've been out with one of the big ghost hunters. Do they protect? Because I know a lot of, and this is a lot of the problem, I think, because a lot of us watch all these bigger YouTubers, and even on the television, guys, they don't really show it. So I think a
They
lot
don't
of us
show
are,
it beforehand, like what
yeah,
they do to protect
so we,
themselves. So
so we
people just
don't get
think you can
involved.
just go out and do this stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's it. So, because I feel as if that woke me up pretty quick to even know I can't even do it in my house without protection. And I feel as if that's why when I first started to try and do it, when Billy first died, and we'll get into that in a minute about Billy and the way that Christina knows him. When Billy first died and I first tried to do it, I feel as if I was blocked by my guides because I just wasn't ready. And they knew I wasn't ready. I was doing it out of grieving instead of doing it out of having a straight head and wanting to connect to him on a level like this. I was doing it because I just wanted answers as to what happened. I wasn't doing it for the proper reasons. And guys, to let a lot of you know that's not really in this community often, or you listen to this in the podcast, Billy is my son-in-law who is in the spirit world, and he is one of my main guides. He helps me to cross over the spirits. He also helps me with the spirit communication that I get. He basically helps me with a lot of things. He's one of my main guides, I do believe. And Christina knows him well because he worked through Christina to make my wand and things for me.
Yeah.
Loads of things like that. And that's another bit we'll get into about Christina does in a minute. So through all getting to know Christina, and then we figured out that we had a great connection through the live streams and things like that, just getting to know each other in the different lives. We've kind of figured out that we're all a lot more connected than we really know already. So we're working on a lot of that in the background, guys, just to figure out how we're all connected. Are we all connected in a different life and things? So there's a lot of that going on in the background. But to
Right.
go back to
And
Billy,
even
though,
in this life, you find out crazy things, because
yeah,
you know
definitely.
we started connecting, and then I found out that through real life circumstances, Mary and I are really connected by family, even though it's by
Far out.
by you know like
Yeah.
in-law kind of thing. We're still connected by
Got
family
connection.
in real life, so we're cousins.
Yeah. Good.
Um, so, and we wouldn't have figured that out without the spirits, and the
Yeah, of
spirits knew,
course.
like, of course they
See,
knew. They
that's
kind of
another
dropped
thing, guys.
hints.
I think a lot of people forget that your guides are there on a ghost hunt, yeah, and they're there to protect you. But see, if you actually spend time just with your guide and a pendulum, a spirit box, whatever divination you want to do, even just record for your own means to play it back and hear what you hear. Because I know Christina does a lot of it in the background, and so do I. Christina taught me how to cross over the spirits and things, how to better communicate with them through the pendulum and through keeping like a dedicated pendulum as well for them only to cross them over. But also, I feel as if a lot of us need to remember that our guides don't always want to perform for our audience. They want to talk to us one to one to let us know these little things like wait a wee minute. I now know that little Maggie has decided to be maybe not a full blown teenager all the time in the spirit world, but she does flip back and forward, guys, between a wee girl and a teenage spirit. So, do you feel, Christina, doing a lot of spirit communication that you don't always put out or just on a one to one level, that you get a lot of answers that you find all this out, is what I'm trying to get across to the guys, is
Oh
all
yeah,
the
well, yeah. Before I would just ask them random questions about paranormal when I was first starting, right? Like things that we don't know.
yeah,
Not realizing that they're also there to teach you spiritual stuff, to learn not only paranormal stuff, but just stuff about
yeah,
you, your bloodlines, and all this. And you don't realize that because you're
exactly.
constantly always just trying to prove the paranormal, which is
Yeah.
why I don't do investigations as much as I used to, because I'm like, who am I proving this to? If
Mhm.
a person doesn't believe in it, me catching it on film
Exactly.
is not going to make them believe it. People who
Yeah.
already believe it, usually can see it, and that's why they
Yeah,
believe it, you know. So
man.
it's not exactly the same either, the investigation feeling that I used to get as I do now, because I
Yeah.
know it's there, you know. So oh,
It's
see
just,
that,
well,
Christina?
it's just so much more than ghost hunting, guys, is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
explain. Maybe Christina can explain her journey a little bit better than I can. Explain to the guys what you really do for the spirits, because I think a lot of us, it's great to go out and communicate with the spirits and a ghost hunt, but we also, there's some of us that take a little bit aside and we ask our guides to go back into the area, and we ask if there's any spirits want to cross over. Is there any spirits just need to get their journey out and spend an extra half an hour talking to that spirit? There is so much more you can do in a ghost hunt than just find out their journey. And I'll let Christina tell you a bit about everywhere she goes. She brings home little kids. Do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, well, anywhere I go, I pick up a lot of spirits, and it's not only kids. So once a spirit or even a person figures out that you cross spirits, um, they tell everybody. They tell all the spirits that they come across. Like, so I have a gentleman who runs a candy store that's been there since before I was born. His father owned it and his mother, and now he owns it. And you know, I went in there a few times, and he's never said anything. I don't talk to people about, you know, ghosts when
Yeah,
I'm
of
out. I'm
course.
just like, can I have milk and cigarettes? And I'm
He's
out.
in
You
the
know,
middle of
like,
New York,
you know,
guys.
how
The
are
middle
you? I
of
hope you're well. I hope your family's well. And I leave. Um,
Yeah,
but one day I went in there, and I don't know, like there was other people around in the store, but you know when you just go in somewhere and it's just like a weird mood. So I'm
mhm,
just like, let me get my cigarettes and milk and get out of here. So grab it, and as I'm going to walk out of the store, in my head now, this all happened in my head, like it was playing in a daydream in my head as I was turning to walk out of
yeah,
the store. And I hear the gentleman say, "Oh, you have a brigade with you." And I turned around, this is all in my head, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, these are my kiddos, because I have a lot of kids with me at all
yeah, a
times."
lot of kid
And
spirits.
he's, yeah, he's like, "Oh." And the store owner said, "Hey, can you could see him?" I'm like, "Charlie, yeah." Not really see him, but I know he's there and I could hear
Yeah,
him. And he's like, "Oh, he's been here a long time." And I'm like, "Oh, well, if Charlie's good, the kiddos will, he could come home and we'll cross him over." I do that.
yeah.
Since that
Hi, Eli.
interaction, hi, Eli. Hi, Flame Girl. Since
Hi,
that
Flame.
interaction happened in my head, every time I go to that store, I get two to three older gentlemen come with me to cross
Right.
over. He
Told
is like
everybody.
telepathic, but he's older.
Right.
He won't tell anybody that he sees spirits or anything. So when these spirits go to him, he's like, wait in the back of the store. And when this girl comes, you go with her. You can't miss her. She has all these
Oh.
children spirits every time. And
Wow,
this
there
is,
you
you
go.
know, word of mouth is how I get most of the spirits. But I cross over because my limit is 500 at a time. I
Guys,
do
it had to be
crossovers 4
500 at a
times a
time.
week.
Do you want to know why? Let me explain a little bit. See, when Christina first started to do this, I think
Yeah.
mostly, I don't know if you only just started to do it, or if you only just started to show all us you doing it. But she started to show us that I'm doing it. And it was like crazy numbers were coming to you and leaving you zonked. Weren't they? That's why you asked. Well, we actually offered if you would teach us, we would help you to do it, because you were getting like 5,000, 10,000 spirits coming to you at the one time just to quickly cross over.
I was crossing at one time. I think I crossed 19,000 by myself at one time, and I go, no, I can't. Like the drain on me, on the spirits, especially on the spirits, was crazy.
Yeah,
And so I asked you girls. I said maybe if more people cross over spirits, I won't get as many, because I'm probably getting from Drew's house when I watch her live
yeah,
stream. I'm getting from this one's, that one's. If they can cross them, then I'm not going to get those spirits.
yeah.
Yeah, it just ended up then all of us started doing around that
Yeah, we
crazy
started
amount. And
to do
I'm
it.
like, no, this has to stop. So I told them, no, we're going to limit it, 500 each time. So I do it 4 times a week, 500 spirits a time. They're like waiting on a
Yeah.
line for me, like,
See, the thing is,
Uh,
guys, you've got to remember as well, a lot of spirits don't always want to cross for whatever reason. So, as Christina says, when she first started doing it, the high up numbers were probably high because she's in the middle of New York. So, wherever she
oh,
was
yeah.
going, she was probably accumulating spirits all the time and she just didn't know it. And that is why. And I do believe it was mostly in your garden last year as well. You were doing a lot of that. So, a lot of that would have been people just keeping coming and coming and coming, because I feel as if you being in New York, that was a lot to do with why. Because think about it, 9/11 had happened, a lot of other things. There were probably a lot of spirits just really needing one person like you that's going to say, here, look,
Yeah.
I know yous are here. I'm going to give you an avenue to cross over to the other side. And then your guides took over for there. If you want to maybe
Yeah.
just explain a quick little bit how that works, with not without telling people how to do it, just what you really do to do
Well,
that.
I could tell them how to do it. It doesn't always work, for
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
You have to be able to
You
do
want
it.
to have the connection to your
So
guides, yeah.
basically, and now I used to, I'll tell you how I started. The spirits, I found a few haunted dolls and I'm like, I really want to help you. And I realized they were children and whatever. And I'm like, I really need to help them cross over. So I started looking for people online that crossed over spirits.
Yeah,
And I'm like, this medium, that medium, mediums cross over spirits. They're like, no. And then now that after I really realized how I was
what?
crossing all these spirits, I asked them how many people in New York State as a whole cross over spirits. They're like 7.
Wow.
There's only 7 people in New York State who
Actually
cross over
crossing
spirits.
over. Wow.
7. So that's why there's so damn many people to cross over.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not a lot in the
Gonna
big
do it.
scheme of things. Okay, guys. So I wanted to cross over these haunted dolls, or the babies, wanted to cross
Yeah,
over the babies. I didn't want them to be stuck in these dolls and stuck here. And they said that they would teach me.
yeah,
One of the spirits, Beth, never forget the first, haunted item, one of my first haunted items, and she taught me a lot of stuff.
right.
So she taught me how to do crossovers. So how I started was I got out my pendulum. I sat with her to find someone on the other side who was
Right.
able to open the door to get them and to bring them in.
Yeah,
With my
yeah,
pendulum and the alphabet in different colors, I'd find a name of a person. I'd turn on the spirit box, call that person, say, can you cross these people over to the other side? And
yeah,
that's how I used to do it.
right.
And then, and now we got better at it, evolved,
Yeah.
we do different things, but
And everybody.
that's how I started, because they taught me how to do it.
Yeah. That's amazing. It was the spirits that told me when I first started my journey about using patchouli, and I didn't have any idea what it was. I had to look it up online and using amethyst, guys. It was them that said it through the spirit box, I do believe, at the time. And I figured out that that was a way to give them energy. So the spirits will tell you things if you concentrate. And plus, they know your heart. They know who really is doing this to help them and to help the lost souls of the world, and who's just doing it to do a ghost hunt. They know the people that really do care. So I feel as if way back then, Christina's been a beacon. And obviously the spirits know that she's going to get a lot of other people involved in it. At first I was getting like big numbers like 200 and 300 to cross over. But then I limited it. I says there is no more spirits, more than 50 spirits at a time, and it's only a Sunday I do it. I only do it a Sunday, 2 a.m. And if he's here, he'll get crossed over by Billy. And that's where Billy comes in for me, guys. He is the one that'll take the spirits. He'll go open the door for me on the other side. And then through him opening the door on the other side, then the spirits can walk through freely. Because we can't go on the other side. We need our guides to go open that door for them, is the way it works.
Right.
So,
It's a two-way door. So you need someone on this side,
yeah, to
and they
open
need
it.
to know someone on the other side. Now, we normally don't know someone on the other
Yeah,
side who can
exactly.
open the door. So it's like a two-way door, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Flame Girl asked a question and I'll just read it and say it for everyone. She asked, may I ask why spirits don't cross over initially? So a lot of them, children especially, don't know. They don't know what happened. They're 5, 6, 7. Nobody explains this to them, right? Because nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk about death to children. So when they see the light, they're like, oh, heck no. And they follow their parents. They attach to something in their house that's with their family and they stay with their family. Now, when their family passes away, when the item that they connected to goes to the thrift store or somewhere else, and then they go home with someone else. So this is what happened. And these kids, there's little kids all over, mostly
Yeah.
children. They do not cross initially because they don't know what's going
Don't
on.
know what- There's
um
babies
a
and
lot
things
of
as
a lot
well.
of the a lot of it is that with the children, why there's so many children. Adults also, some of them feel like, I have a neighbor's, I call him the neighbor's ghost. He stays because his wife is there, and he's not crossing over until his wife passes away and they can go together, you know? And then you have ones that just don't know what's there and it's like, oh, hell no, I'll just stay here because I know what's here already. So, few different
I think
reasons,
that'll be
but
a
that's
common
most of
one
the
with a lot
reasons
of
why there's
spirits.
so many children, especially.
Yeah, I think that'll be quite a common one that a lot of people, if they're a couple and they've been a couple for a lot of years, I think that'll be quite a common reason that spirits will hang around. And it makes sense that the baby's going to turn around and follow their parents, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So, what do you do in that situation? I think if you're spiritually open like us, you try your hardest to help them in the best way you can.
right.
And what do you do if their parents have then crossed over and come back looking for their kids? There's a lot of them you need to place together because sometimes you've got the spirit of the little kid here and you've got the spirit over here of the parents, and you just need to match them up. And then usually they walk on into the sunset, and that's where your spirit guides come in, guys. But a lot of this you don't do online because it's so personal for them that you don't
Yeah,
want to put it online. You always get the feeling, nope, I'm not even going to put this online. And you know the things that you can put online and the things you don't. But I want you
yeah.
to
Like when I
know
usually do the
that
crossovers, I
what
won't
goes on in
I
the
won't put up
background.
the yeah, I won't put up the whole thing. I just put up the audio from the
Yeah.
spirit box because I'll ask them, "Hey, can you tell us how you found us, where you came from?"
Well, yeah, that's
Um,
okay. But I mean, the actual
kind of
event
that
of
stuff.
crossing
And then
over.
so they'll, when they're crossing over, or I'll ask them to show us a picture on the ghost seer, if you'll be so kind, anything you
Yeah.
want. And so those kind of things I may put, but they know I'm taping it. I always tell them beforehand I'm going to tape the audio, A,
You
so
get
I
the
can listen
feeling you
back
always
to
know the
it, or
ones that want
B,
you
if,
to do it,
you
the
know,
ones that don't know, don't you? You always know there's
well,
one that you just get the feeling.
a lot of times, if they don't, if they don't kind of know, they won't talk on the spirit box. It will just be the guides crossing them. You won't hear the spirits. And then I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you know,
That's what happened
um,
with Billy a
they'll
way
be
back.
really quiet, like they're like, oh no, they
Some
won't
of them,
even, the meters won't go off, nothing. They'll be like,
yeah, some
so
of them just don't want to do it. When I first started to try and get Billy on the spirit box, he wouldn't come through. There was a lady always spoke on his behalf and would say Billy is in transition. They would say Billy's travelling right now and things like that. They would always tell me, and I never ever heard directly from him, but there was always somebody, if I asked a question about him, would answer me about him. And a lot of it is placing it together as well, guys. A lot of it is you'll sit and hear the spirit box and you'll play it back, and then you'll hear, after you've asked the question, you'll maybe hear it a minute later, just slightly, and you'll be like, okay, so that's the answer to that question. There's a lot of it you place together after you've done the communication, and that's why it's good to always have the backup there of the spirit box, maybe, and what you're getting out your pendulum or whatever, or your dowsing rods. I'll use the dowsing rods a lot as well. Do you use the dowsing rods, Christina? For
yes.
any of you? Yeah, right.
I used
Yeah,
to use the dowsing rods when Michael was here. Michael was the first spirit I worked with to crossover spirits. Now he
right.
wanted to crossover and go be with his sister. When he first came to me, I was doing a crossover And he found
Right.
it so interesting. I was doing my first crossover that he ended up sending his sister over to the other side. I crossed her, and but he wanted to stay, and he
Right.
wanted to help spirits
To
cross
help.
over because they were here a long time.
Right.
Him and his sister with no help, So he thought, what a great idea to stay here and help, this woman cross over spirits. And then Sarah stayed to help him so he wouldn't be lonely. So that was the both of them. And
Yeah.
then he was like, no, I want to go see my sister. So then the it hasn't even been a year since I crossed him over. Oh my God, the hardest thing you ever have to do when
Yeah.
you
I
have to
bet.
cross
Yeah.
over one of
Yeah.
your like guides who've been with you a while. So and so then it was Sarah and I, and there was a little boy at Danny's, like I think we were so upset, Sarah and I, and he knew that, and he's like, oh, I'll come help, you know
Yeah.
and he came over to help, and we kind of like, now we snatched him.
It's your no permanent. So do you feel that's your main ones? Do you feel Sarah and Billy's your two main ones that help you?
Sarah and Billy, yeah.
Yeah, because feel it's our Billy, which is a different Billy, guys, obviously, and then I feel it's my cousin Stephen. I feel as if he has only just started in the last maybe 6 months coming in and helping me do a couple of crossovers, taking the spirits to the other side. So I do believe they're working as a team, the two of them, Stephen and Billy, to help me
Mhm.
help other people, essentially help the souls. So they're my team on the other side, guys. But my granny
Yeah.
things will come in. Have you ever felt any of your like older generation come in yet?
um Believe it or not, my aunt is very spiritual too. And my
Right.
aunt would talk to my mother all the time. That's her sister, right?
Yeah.
So she would talk to my mother all the time, like with the pendulum and stuff. So, and her grandfather, which is my great grandfather. So when I went there one day, and she was like, "Oh, can we ask? You do the pendulum?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." She's like, "Can we ask what's the person's name who does it?" I go, "The person's name." I said, "It's Sarah. She's a little 7-year-old." She's like, "You don't talk to your family?" I'm like, "No, my mother hasn't come to be like, hey, it's me, like." She's like, "I talk to your mother all the time." I'm like, "Okay," you know. Um, and then we figured out my grandmother, actually, my 95-year-old grandmother, who I'm sure is a witch, and that's a whole other story. But
Yeah.
so anyway, she's
That's
in a
another thing
nursing
like Mike
home.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure she's like a nice witch. She's just some other crazy one. But anyway, only because she doesn't know she's a witch.
Yeah.
So
You're all crazy.
when your energy, when you don't know you have these powers,
Yeah.
your energy is the strongest when you have like hate, you know?
Oh
And
yeah. I
that's
can
when you
imagine.
can manifest stuff really easily. But
Or when
anyway,
you're angry. Yeah.
yeah, when you're angry. So so she said, "Who's the lady sleeping in my bed? Tell her hello." The older woman. And we're like, "What the hell is she talking about, the older woman in her bed?" She goes like, "Yeah, the one at home. Tell her." It was my grandmother
Wow.
on my father's side, Oh, I was like, "Why is my
How did
grandmother in
that
her bed?" Like, she just went
happen?
to see her with my mother.
Right.
Her and my mother and my grandmother on my father's side were close.
All
She
right.
was like
Good.
my mother's mother, unlike, her own mother, who's still alive in the
Right.
nursing home. So they went to go see her, I guess. So that's, she
They've
didn't
helped.
realize who she was because she doesn't know my grandmother.
Yeah,
Passed
exactly.
away a long time ago. So she was so funny enough, their energy is around. I don't, they haven't directly, I haven't heard them.
Contacted you yet.
I've heard my mother a few times say different things on the spirit box where I knew it was
Yeah.
her. Like, "Oh, baby, I love you." Like, but the way she said it, I knew it was her. Like,
But knew
I
it was
knew it
going.
wasn't someone else. But so she
I
said a
think
few
that's
things
what's
like
what's
that.
wrong, though, isn't it? You always the ones that you want to hear from the most. Like I would
Yeah.
love to hear from Uncle Gordon. I've heard a few things, but I'm not convinced it's him. But I feel him around. Anytime I feel him here. But I've not had direct communication with him as of yet. My Uncle Andrew I have, who I always feel this side. but not my Uncle Gordon. I've never ever heard anything, any communication directly from him, except for New Year that one time that all the footage failed. I've recorded at New Year. I did a little ritual to bring in all my ancestors. I've still got the notes, and on it says I had a jumper that he gave me one time. My dad was down, flitting him from one house to another, and I was cold, and he gave me a jumper to put on. So when he died, I've still got his jumper, and sometimes not so much now, but years ago I used to wear the jumper all the time. So and in this communication, he had said something like "I see you wear it" or something. It was something really prominent. I knew what he was talking about straight away. There's loads of different things in it though, and that was the only time I'd ever heard directly from him. And all the
Right.
footage failed, and I thought that was my first lesson on realizing that not everything should be going out on YouTube
Yeah.
because they took the footage off me.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that's what it is though sometimes, isn't it? The ones that you want to hear from the most are probably the ones
It's
that
the
you're less.
hardest to communicate with them because I think more because you're nervous. Like just a
Probably.
few weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, Danny and I were doing a spirit box session, and they were like, "Oh, so happy to hear from my mother and whatever." And I was like, "Oh no." Like they're like, "Do you hear from your mother?" I'm like, "No, you know what? My mother doesn't hold back punches." You know what they say, ignorance is bliss. I kind of don't want to know what my mother thinks
Yeah,
of
exactly.
life right now, And I think that's also a little bit why in the back of our heads we block them because we don't want to know what they're
Yeah,
thinking
maybe. Yeah,
of our
maybe.
lives and stuff. So I'm like, no, I don't want her. But
Yeah,
she came,
I get that.
Danny, and she was like saying something, and I'm like, oh my God, that's my mother. No,
That
I
makes
guess.
sense, by the way, because my Uncle Gordon would be one of the ones to slap me around the head for some of the things that I've maybe done or do. So that makes a lot of sense when you say that. He's maybe I shouldn't hear from him or maybe get a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about your ghost hunting thing, sis? Because I know you've been to some great places in New York. You want to tell the guys a bit about some of the places you've been?
Yeah, so I started out when my son started having this problem. I was in Long Island. I grew up in Astoria, Queens. I moved to
Right.
Long Island after my mother passed away because it was the only thing I could afford. And then I really thought that coming back to Queens, where I lived my whole life and grew up, would be easier to find a job and stuff like that because it's closer to the city and all this. So
Yeah.
I came back. So I was only in there 12 years out of 40 something. So basically I was there in Long Island when I first started this, when my son had the problem. So I just looked online and was like, real ghost activity in Long Island, and wherever they said there was activity, I went. you
Right.
know so I went to Kings Park, which is a whole park of abandoned.
Oh, amazing
um
place, guys. Check that out in the channel, definitely, when you're watching back
yeah.
Christina's channel. For the ones that's not already watched, check out some of the places in New York she's been, because they're amazing old buildings. I'm surprised they're still standing, to be honest. Some
Right.
of the
A lot of them, yeah, are crazy. I went to Kings Park. I went to Pilgrim State Psychiatric Center, Edgewood Preserve, which was the first place, which had two psychiatric hospitals on there at the time,
right.
the land, but they were torn down. Um, I've
So
I've
that could
been
be where a
to a
lot of the
lot of
spirits came from then. That
exciting
they
places,
brought.
but I've caught a lot of my best evidence
Okay.
just
The
walking in
one
the
in the
street.
train. Guys, you need to watch the one on the train. That is bloody crazy. Sorry for swearing. Well, it's not really swearing, but the
Oh
one
yeah,
on
the
the
one.
train is unbelievable. And you did a rerun of it a couple of
Yeah, I
months
did a
ago.
rerun in two parts. So I
Yeah.
went to the Patchogue Hanging Tree, which they made a movie about and everything else, where they supposedly hung witches back in the day. So I tried to go there. I could not get close to the tree because there was this couple sitting there, like making out and stuff under it on the live stream, and I was live, right? So I just
God.
walked around the place, but my spirit guides kept asking me to leave, like leave, please leave, even on the spirit box when we played it. And I'm like, you know what, guys, let's walk a little.
Right.
Anyway, I knew after why they told me to leave, but they were
Mhm.
like, leave, like they really, please leave.
Oh,
Like I
gosh,
remember
no.
hearing Sarah say, please leave. And I was like, okay. So we left and ended up we decided I walked just around, we had dinner, all this stuff on the live stream. But
Yeah,
the part that I play back is only the hanging tree. But then I play the train ride because the train ride was insane. And the train ride was I got on the train. It came in, it's only one track back and forth.
yeah,
So I had a ticket. I looked at the time. I said, "No, this is our train." We got on the train, it went the wrong way. And okay. And it took 20 minutes, I think 20 to 25 minutes to get from where we were to the end. Okay, then we waited, we got on, the train started again to go the other way. You can hear the conductor plain as day. After I asked him, I'm like, I got on the wrong way, whatever. He's like, okay, stay on, you'll go back. He's like, there's no passengers on the train. And I'm like, that's odd. He knows I'm here, right? Like,
yeah.
it's just an odd thing to say. Maybe he forgot about me or whatever. But I'm like, I hope it's actually going to where I want to go. The Just to go one stop from the last stop to the next stop, going back there, going back the way we just came, that took 25 minutes, took almost 40 minutes
It's crazy, guys,
for
honestly.
one stop. And when I played it back, all the stuff that was going on there, that like the live stream, I guess because you're live streaming, now
It's as
you're
if
you're
the
you
spirits
know,
all gather on that train. It's all homeless or something, homeless spirits.
I don't know, but I caught the same spirit in two different windows. Like he was in one window and then later he was in another one. I caught like a full body in the door of the train that I didn't even
An
realize.
arm or something as
Doors
well.
were opening and closing to the bathroom. There was a little kid playing under the seats. Like I was like, what
Oh,
the hell?
hmm And see, the thing is, as
Hi,
well, you
Diane.
think about it, they'll get endless energy on a train because think of the electric that goes on.
Yeah.
So probably get I welcome Hatcha. They'll probably get endless energy. I
Yeah.
don't
I
know how.
mean, it was crazy. So
Yeah. So, what have you got coming up, Christina Sis, in the next little while? Tell us a bit about what's all going. No, guys, and remember as well on her channel she does do crafting as well,
yeah.
and she does amazing crafts. I don't know where she gets the ideas, but she does crafting. She'll do quick cooking quick, and she'll show
Yeah.
loads of different things. She's more a
Right.
vlogging channel, I would say, like me, a mishmash, but it's got loads of
A mishmash.
paranormal in it.
Yeah.
Well, tell
Because
us what's all coming up.
I do on Mondays is usually a craft video. Tuesdays is cooking. Wednesdays is usually up in the air, but but it's usually divination Wednesday because I go live to do cards. So I'll usually do something surrounding divination on Wednesdays as a video. Thursday is usually some kind of spiritual video or audio from crossovers. And then Friday is our spiritual learning topic that we went over for the Thursday night live stream. Saturday is my Saturday show, which will be ending probably soon, maybe another 10 episodes or something. And then I'll be finished with the vision I had. But that's a cartoon of a vision that they showed me, a 5-hour vision that they showed me that I've been playing out in cartoon form for a long time now.
Need to
And
watch that as
then
well. That was actually quite good. I watched the one today that was up. But you're actually on season 2 with that, are you not?
three,
Season 3, guys. So watch it for the beginning because it does explain what happens all the way through it. And the characters that's in it is from the community. So watch it.
yeah. Yeah, the characters are from the community. And Sunday I always do Sinister Sunday, which is like a real haunted story, a haunted lore of sorts, or a haunted place that I can't get to personally because it's in England, it's in
Yeah. Oh
London,
dear.
it's in, Antarctica where I'm never going because it's cold. So like I'll do like an virtual investigation, and that's on the channel Sundays. So that's what
Yeah.
my channel does. Now in the spring, most likely then Saturdays, um and maybe another day will be like me going to different places outside, either just vlogging for history or for paranormal.
Yeah.
So that will be coming
Wait for
like
the
in the
next
spring
vlog,
when
guys.
it's still a little cold and rainy and gross in New York. So So
Yeah,
starting
that's like
soon,
here.
that will be in like the springtime,
Yeah,
like
here is
end
weird.
of April, we'll start going out, and that will be on the channel.
Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it's a weird energy here. I think we're also in the dark phase of the moon right now as well. So I think that adds to a little bit of the feeling of flatness right now, because I think this when the spring comes, we're all going to be needed because we're all going to have so many projects going on. So I feel as if there's a lot that the guides are giving us right now that we need to get out the road, such as I feel as if I've got to concentrate on Liam getting his college up and running. That's me got all his bursary sorted, all his bank accounts sorted. I've got everything like that all sorted with him. So that's just to carry him into his journey because he's 16 now. I've got everything all set up with Woodland Adventures, well, Mystical Woodland Advisors. I've got that all set up, waiting Mother Nature, growing things. So, Christina, what are you going to be doing in spring? Where are you going to take us this year? Because last year you did take us to some great places. Where are you
Yeah,
thinking of taking us?
well, definitely some different cemeteries.
Oh, good.
I did do that one. I did a live one from the cemetery where
That was
Houdini
good.
was buried. That was
Bloody
crazy
good.
because they said his
Yeah.
name on the spirit box, and somebody followed me throughout the whole cemetery from the time I got to his grave. When I left his grave, somebody started following me. So I just think he was following me around the cemetery. It was a great live stream.
Yeah.
So we definitely will go. There's so many cemeteries within the New
Aye,
York
they're
area, of
beautiful.
course.
Yeah, they're
So some of
nice.
them I have not been to in the different boroughs. Like I never went to one in Staten Island. But
Right.
so I'm gonna try to see if I could go to some ones, different ones, cool ones,
Oh,
nice looking
guys, she's
ones.
got memberships now. Listen, Christina, if I know anybody that has dedicated their time to their channel, it's Christina. She got her channel way up to there. And what did they do? They took all your watch hours off you or something. You had to
Yeah.
restart. But, guys, she has built herself right away back up again. She's now got memberships again. So remember, please check her channel out. And if you want to get extra content, definitely go for those memberships because she stays in New York and there'll be amazing places you'll probably see. You
Oh
probably
yeah.
put little snippets behind the scenes and things on there, will you not?
Oh yeah. Well, what I've been doing right now is so I have 5 members.
Right, good.
So what I did was, and you'll see already one went out. Every week I told you I have a cooking video. I named the cooking dish after the member. So the
Oh,
first one
I'll
was
be joining
Sweet
when I'm
Tina
paid.
couscous. The next one comes out Tuesday, which was for Gothic. Then one will
Oh,
come out for
brilliant.
Mary, then Misty, and then for Christine. So they're all named after them. So, but there'll be
There
other
you
cool stuff too, and they get early access to any of the fun videos, like the Saturday
go.
ones and whatever. They get early access, so it's up there before it goes onto the channel. So that's
Brilliant.
just some of the perks of membership. But I will be doing like live streams with them to
Guys,
do
Christina does her own
divination.
tarot. What she made up her own tarot deck. And guys, there is a bit of a lag. We're not talking over each other, just in case you think that. So there's a little bit of a lag on the chat as well on my end. But just to let you know, she made up her own tarot deck. And tell them a bit about all your divination tools, sis, because you've got so many amazing ones.
Oh yeah, so I always liked the idea of the oracle cards, and as soon as I saw people reading them online, I was like, that's what I want to do. Um, but I always just felt like it was so impersonal. And even when they were doing the readings and just kind of reading the book, I felt it
Yeah,
was so impersonal. So I'm like, I wonder if I can work with my spirit guides to make this more fun, basic. So I made 2 um, charm sets where I do different charm readings, made my own witches runes. I made 2 different tarot decks, which are like, it's like oracle and tarot mixed. It
yeah,
take
they're
it
interesting,
it
guys.
reads like an oracle,
Yeah,
but takes the meaning from the the
the
original
tarot.
tarot, you
Yeah.
know? So if the sun
She
meant
always
this
said,
in
she
original
always said,
tarot,
the
that's
two
what
of
like
swords.
that number would mean. Yeah.
You always said
So,
two of foodie, two of foodie. So when I was reading Christina's doing our tarot reading last week, I don't know why I done it. I didn't even mean to do it. I ended up saying it twice like you do, and I'm like, that's because my guides are tuning into Christina's energy. I'm saying too off foodie type of thing like Christina does. But it's great, guys. She's got loads of divination things, and they're all unique. It's not just like the pendulum and things. What's the other one you do? The charm readings. They're interesting as well.
Oh
The
yeah,
charm
I got
readings.
chip. I got astrology readings that I learned astrology and numerology to do some readings. Um,
Little
yeah,
charms and things like that. She's got loads, guys. You definitely need to check her out, honestly. So we are at an hour and 5 minutes, guys. So we're not going to be on too late tonight because Christina's trying to go and see her cousin before she goes home to Greece. So we'll have another 10 minutes yet. So if there's anything you would like people to know about you, sis, what would you like them to know?
Um, hmm, interesting. Well, if you don't know me already, no, I'm just a really down to earth person. I, of course, if people ever need some kind of help in the paranormal, um, I would help them. So, if you guys have ever had any questions and you're afraid to go ask someone, I am a very easy person to talk to, so you're welcome to ask me any questions.
Yes, guys.
I'm on Messenger, so you can find me on Messenger. I believe all my links are on my about section on my channel.
And
So
it's at the top of the
really,
page, guys. If you are
yeah,
not,
so really just, I'm a really down to earth kind of
yes,
girl.
guys,
I like to do
honestly,
all different things, and then you'll
got a
see
big
that on my
heart.
channel. Yeah.
She's really got a big heart. She's one of those people that would do anything for anybody. You can just tell when you're talking to. Oh, there you
Thank
go.
you, Kathy.
Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy's already one of my members, guys. She has just joined
Ah,
Christina's channel. Thank you very much. See, everybody loves you, sis. She's an
ah,
amazing person, guys. She's one of those people that tries to help everybody. And I believe that's why her channel is the way it is with different things. Because she just wants to try and help anybody the way they can, whether it be through making something quick to eat or doing a quick craft because you're bored or paranormal investigation or sitting up all night talking to people on a live stream. She's got a
yeah.
great channel to sit there and make if you're bored and you're wanting something to cheer you up, go over to Christina's channel. And I'm not just saying that, I really mean it. And put on one of the live streams or put on one of her videos because she's such an upbeat person, even in her videos, that you can only but smile when you watch her or listen to
Yeah.
her.
Oh, yeah, and
So
I
I would,
have a lot of different playlists for you guys. If you are not really into paranormal, like I said, besides cooking and crafting, I have a whole historical playlist with all historical places that I've taken you to in New York, museums, even
no
historical places in
loads.
Pennsylvania that I visited. Um, and then I have like comedy and story time one where I'll do comedy. I also tell like different stories and just
Oh,
fun
that's
stuff
right.
that
Guys, she's just started. Remember, you've just started up doing a little bit more mystical things as well. You've got more of the mystical like stories as well. Whereas the dragons and things you've told people about, is it not?
oh no,
Fairies?
that's the spiritual learning. So the spiritual
Oh, the
learning, I'll
spiritual
talk
learning.
about
Right.
spirit guides and dreams, and next week will be astral projection, and we just got we talk about all those kind of different things that are spiritual that people will come across on their spiritual journey that they might want to know more about.
Look what PPR says. Christina is the manager at 1-800 Ghost Love for You. She might as
Yes,
well put a
I
sign
I
like that
do
up.
do that too, but I only do matchmaking for the spirits that I meet, and if one of them meshes, I'm like, I know someone, but I don't do it for people, live people. Sorry.
She's a jack of all trades. She definitely is,
Yeah, the
guys. She's
Jack, the Jack.
amazing. And she's trying to help us all figure out as well in the background about, are we all related in the astral realms? Have we been here many times before as true sisters and things? So there's a lot of that going on as well, and it's interesting. I wish I had the time to sit in on the way they all do it and figuring it all out. I just have such, and remember they're 5 hours behind us as well, so
Yeah,
it's great to see how it all works. And some of the pictures and things you've put up as well, you think, yeah, I know something. I really do feel that character, like the one with the wolves beside me that you done me. Like it's
yeah,
AI, I do believe it, but you do feel as if you're actually in that picture with those wolves, and you think that's obviously your guides. that is guiding you to find our kind of, I don't know, a little aura about us, maybe not the true character of us, because we don't want to give
No,
AI
because
that
it's
power.
funny. The
But
AI, I always thought like it just made you look pretty, you know? But the
sure,
more that I work with this same particular AI program, the more that I think it gets to know me. Like it's kind of
yeah,
scary. Or I think maybe your guides can kind of
manipulate it.
manipulate it because like I did one where I said, okay, I want all the sisters in Atlantis, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I want Atlantis and and you know Atlantis goddesses and people who lived in that ancient Atlantis. That's what
Yeah.
I put. I didn't put anything about animals. I didn't put any. No, really simple, so that it
Just
would make
play.
us know
Hi,
what
sis.
you should look like in ancient, um, in ancient times.
Atlantis. Yeah.
If you lived in Atlantis, hi sis Sherry.
Lovely, sis.
So basically, it gave like one person a dragon. Didn't give anybody else a dragon. It gave everybody a crown, but it gave me a sword. Like I think it knows. Like, oh yeah, yeah, I
Feel your
know when you were
character.
at Atlantis, you were like a warrior, but this one was the queen, and this one had a
Yeah,
dragon.
who
Like
knows?
it was like, what is going on? You know?
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, guys. And some of them, the one with the Indian character as well, like the Native American, I feel totally in that character. I've flicked through it and I had to take a double take. I flicked up and then I flicked back, and I thought, you know something, I really do feel as if I could have been there at one point in time.
Yeah.
Some of them you just flick through and you think, oh, nice picture. But other ones you really do feel as if you're there. That one with the wolves, especially, I think, is one of my magical ones. Welcome in, everybody. We are going to end it in the next couple of minutes, guys. We're just going to let Christina say anything she wants to say to her chat. She has linked to the channel as well on her channel. Is there anything you want to say about what's coming up tonight, sis? Anything? You going live tonight?
No, tonight because I was live with Drew and because I want to go visit my cousin before he goes back to Greece, I will not be live this Saturday night. We'll be live most likely with Mary tomorrow as long as she's feeling well on Mary's channel to do something, and then we'll go back to our regular schedule of Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday next week, is which is
Yeah,
normally when
yeah.
I'm live.
Yeah, that's it. So remember, guys, just keep an eye on everybody's channel. We all kind of go live as a community. So usually, if you see one of us in the chat, you'll see us all. So we all are mostly always together anyway. And Uncle Danny is saying my only paranormal thing I'm doing till next winter is his grove and his spiritual journey. But it'll help you if you're in trouble and maybe back on Seabass at the end of fall. He's not sure. He's just taking some time out, guys, just to find his path a little bit more.
Yeah.
That he's retired and things. We all need to get to know our true self, let's say. We're all doing it. We're all just diving a little bit deeper this year, I believe.
Yeah, well, and everybody's journey, your journey changes as you go about in this, so where you thought, okay, this was my journey and I did it and I'm doing it and it's great. All of a sudden you'll get this feeling like, no, there's something else. And then you have to go back to
Yeah.
like the start because you don't know what it is, you know?
That
And,
happened
and
to
you
me
have to do this a
before.
few times sometimes. Like I thought, oh, my job is to cross over spirits. But more I got into it, I was like, but that's not all I want to do. I want to do, I want to help the spirits in other ways and do different things. So,
Yeah, there's so much
it's
more, isn't
all
there?
you'll go back to your roots a few times to figure out
Yeah.
something,
See, I think that's what my woodland walks are about. I think my
Uh
woodland walks are a way for me to connect back
Kathy,
to
thank you
nature that
so
I really
much
need.
and much love to you. I just want to tell Kathy, thank you so much for becoming a member and much love to you.
Yeah, whoop. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just I think 2024 is going to be different for a lot of us this year. I think a lot of us, it's been either just coming into our spiritual journey in the past 10 years or just people that's really just coming into it right now. I think you'll see a lot of difference in the way that you feel this year to last year and things like that. Because I already feel my purpose for this year. And I think once I do get in those woods in the spring, I feel as if I'll ascend more, because I feel as if all our spiritual journey comes from Mother Nature and the higher beings and our ancestors and things. And they set us up for so many things in life that you don't see it. You just have to go with the flow. I've learned
Yeah.
that. you know. So is there anything else you want to say then, sis? You're not live tonight. So when is the next time we can see you? Tomorrow night?
Well, tomorrow, if Mary goes live, usually I am a guest. She's nice enough to let me come up and chat her ear off with her. So you'll probably see me then. Of course, there'll be videos up. Like I said, every day I put a video, so you will never miss me. And then, but Wednesday will be Divination Wednesday, so I definitely don't miss that live. So I'll see
Yeah,
you
come
guys.
on, guys, come into that. And for me, I've just been back to doing tarot of the day, guys, on Monday right through to Fridays. I'll also be doing my paranormal something on a Monday night, probably about 9:30 to maybe 10:45 to 11. And then I'll have my Tuesdays on Mystical's channel, where this week we are talking to Eli. And if Eli can't make it, I think we're talking to Drew McRae. But if not, we'll have Drew McRae next week, who is Living History's Mysteries. And next week, I do believe I've got Sister Sherry in the hot seat. And then the week after that, it'll be Mystical. And then we'll take it from there, guys. So just keep an eye on everybody's channels. My advice to everybody, especially all the prominent ones like Uncle Danny, Christina, Mystical, Sister Sherry, and then everybody else just comes in. Like Lunar as well. Lunar started going live again, guys, at night. I don't know if she's doing videos yet, but she's definitely got
Night.
live.
Every Sunday she'll be live, so definitely see her.
Yeah, because seeing Lunar's chat, I know this is how we all first started to connect, guys, is a lot on Lunar's channel, because on Lunar's channel, she's also, way back then, was trying to figure out her gifts and things. So that's why a lot of us now are trying to find out why we were all connected in the first place. There's got to be a purpose, I feel. So definitely keep checking out everybody's channel, guys, and I'll go end it for now. We will have Stephanie on the talking about gardening. Right, okay, Mystical. We're going to have Stephanie on as well, guy, talking about gardening and things. So keep an eye on that. Okay. And it just jumped there. Right, I'm going to end it for now, guys, and thank you all for coming in, especially the
Thank you,
ones that
everybody.
have joined us on Facebook, the ones that's joined us on Sister Christina's channel. I do appreciate it, everybody. Remember, smash that like button. Please share out if you enjoyed it, because it really does help with the algorithm of YouTube. It's so hard to grow and get your content out there. So it's up to you guys that watch us to kind of push us out and help everybody else see the content as well. And we do appreciate it, honestly. It is so hard, it's unbelievable. So I'll end it there, guys, and I will see you all probably tomorrow or Monday for Tarot of the Day. Bye, everybody. We'll put the
Good
outro out,
night.
I think, and let you all say goodbye to each other. Where is it? Let me find it, guys. I think that's the intro, actually. Bye, everybody. Here we go.